Phobos again. We're going to do another video. I'm going to try to keep this one short and sweet. All right, today we're going to talk about National Quest, Alliance Representative, card manual, card points, or class manual, class points, and all that good stuff, right? So first thing I want to mention is how two things tie together, right? How your national level quest and your class use, right, the class that you have here, applies to your alliance. So the way it applies to your alliance is based on this alliance position right here, which is great. So this alliance card. So if you have, and you should have this card, not rate payload 3%, because this is good, but once you start having the resistance position, this is pretty good, because the rate payload, all it really does is it allows you to have an extra 3% in load when you're raiding somebody. So it's great for farms. It helps a little bit in kill event if you're really trying to gather resources, not gather, but trying to accumulate resources from like raiding other bases. But other than that, it doesn't help us a whole lot, right? What you really are trying to look for is when it starts applying for resistance and might. Those are the major things, right? And it's pretty quickly to get, like you see, you get to might pretty quickly. Like I am on the cusp of getting to it, which is this one. It gives you maximum troop resistance of 3%, 4%, I'm sorry. And as soon as I do that, I'll come back here, and I'll grab the new card that I'll get, and I'll replace it for this one. That way I can go to being Alliance Representative, and I can place myself in probably one of these two positions where the 60% are, because I don't think any of these guys have it yet, and we're losing on some resistance on that point, right? But going to that point, if you are going to apply for this position, you see John has rate payload 3%. He has this one, but because we don't see any in here, we know that he doesn't have it active right now, right? So this would give the alliance about 1 point something percent, I believe, in actual resistance. So Raptor has it. So I think Raptor should be in one of these positions. If I get there first, or if somebody else gets there first, should be in one of these positions, whichever the one it is. That way we can provide the more resistance buff to the alliance as possible, right? So John can activate his, and I'm pretty sure he's going to do that pretty soon, and that we can go. And another thing is, while we at it, National Quest, real quick before we go back, right? So National Quest, we are wrong location. We are about to open. We are ready to open a new chapter. You can see already met the requirements of 2 gold class. We got it for farmer. We got it for trader as well. And the gold head count, we're at 205 out of the 200. So we are good there. So John, as the president right now, can come in, hit open. It'll open. It will take effect after reset tonight. So you'll see the points that you make for National Quest will go up drastically, because we'll be level 3. And if you look at the other states, like every state older than us in our bracket already opened number 3. So we're right on par. You know, we lost that 1 week where we lost our launch center. So not too bad. So let's talk about our class. I'm going to talk Raider because that's what I am, but it kind of applies to everything about the same. You just have to read what the cards do, and then you have to understand how to place your cards so you can actually get those buffs, right? So as soon as you start accumulating points, and then you have to decide how you're going to distribute them. You see here you have red cards, you have green cards, you have blue cards, and you have brown cards. Brown cards already touched on. There are your alliance cards. So they give buffs to not just you, they give buffs to the entire alliance when you have them placed in the alliance representative position, right? So they buff you in no other way if they're not placed in alliance representative. That's why your alliance representatives should be the people that are at the highest level of class or National Quest, and have those cards active, right? So they can buff the rest of the alliance. There's no point in being like somebody that is a, Raider level 20, because he doesn't have that resistance card that's going to buff the alliance. Doesn't help with us at all, right? And DR Force should be monitoring that to make sure that, go in and cancel people that are too low level and replace them with people that are higher level. And this is not a position of like, whether what you are or you're R4 or whatever the hell you are. This is just a position that helps the entire alliance, regardless of what you are. If you're R1 but you have a highest level than an R4, then you absolutely should be alliance representative, because you help everybody more than that guy can, because you got more cards to help them out. And it's all about the resistance, the might, the raid payload is great too, but you know, it's whether you have it, and I'd prioritize might and resistance over raid payload. But anyways, let's keep talking. You see, like the red cards are gonna give you like the they're the cards that you can activate when you do a national quest, and when you're selecting an APC to go to do national quest, you can then click on select card, and you can choose these cards that are available for that mission that you can place in position, so it gives you more stuff, like it gives you more experience or less time or whatever the hell. These will buff up your troops basically, or your base, right? So for farmers, they'll give you like more resource production, or getting a certain amount of resources per hour of gathering or something. Traders, like more money, you make more money, you protect more of your money, your helicopter will bring you more stuff, right? These are your national quest, your class cards. These are gonna buff up the amount of points, time, or experience that you make when you do a national quest. But this is not dependent on whether or not you load them. As long as you have them, and you have them placed in this position right here, these three, and this is a free position that anything can go in. So I choose to put another class card so I can make more and more points. And we already talked about all 4 types of cards, right? So you can see how I have mine distributed. Right here, I only have 6. I have 2 more available, but I'm gonna reset tonight, so I'm not gonna be able to enjoy it, so I'm not worried about it. I got that one maxed out, and I got this one maxed out. Why? Because you can go to 5 in here and choose to stop and continue doing other stuff. I don't, because, you know, even though this is pretty nice for me, I'm a shooter-based player, you know, I chose to get this one, get my 5% shooter siege attacker might, and then I chose to go back and fill these ones up. That way I get more points, because what I'm really trying to get is this for me, right? More work, more gain. This allows you to make, for me to, instead of sending 1 APC to the national quest, I can send 2 APCs to the national quest, make double the points or whatever, right? I just cannot send them to do the same mission, right? So if it's a 3 people mission, I cannot send 2 of my APCs and then have somebody else send 1 to make 3, right? Or you cannot send them in the same row when you're doing, right? So you have to select different rows to send 2 APCs, or you can do 1 right now, 1 later if you want. It's all dependent on you. Another quick thing I'm going to touch on is the difference, because I feel like this is important. A lot of people understand how this works, but siege attacker, you know, siege defender, and other things, or just siege, or just might, right? The best type of might or resistance that you can get, or HP, is might, resistance, and HP with no condition, right? So not saying like siege attacker or siege defender or siege or nothing. It just says might, you know, gives your troop 10% might. That applies to everything. Championship duel, arena, attacking zombies, everything you can think of, as long as it's a battle, or tiles, right? Attacking tiles for Doomsday. As long as it's a battle, it will give you that buff. Siege is the second best, because then it applies only when it's a base on base attack. Whether you're attacking or defending, if it says siege, you receive that buff. Siege attacker only applies when you are the attacking party, meaning when you are attacking another base. But it doesn't apply if another base is attacking you, right? And it doesn't apply to championship duel, arena, doesn't apply to tile war, right? So siege defender only when you're the attacking, the party being attacked. So basically when you're defending, that's the only way that those siege defender will apply. So it's very important to know those differences, because you can look at your battle reports when you attack the zombie and you see like all this stuff that didn't apply, and then when you saw like when you attacked the base you had way more might. It's just because of these things, right? Siege attacker, siege defender, siege, might, resistance, all these things will play a huge role in the amount of buff, might, resistance, HP that you have in any given battle. Now that that's out of the way, and these cards are sort of out of the way, what is really important is to know what you load, right? You can have all those cards, but if you don't come in here to load them, they're useless to you, right? You see there's a certain amount of positions, there's not a lot of them. As you keep going, you keep increasing these positions. There is a lot of stuff here that is not applied to me. A lot of them is like launch center stuff. That I don't have. If I knew for a reason that we were about to have an LC fight, right? Uh, and I knew that we stood a chance of winning, so we just had to like really fight hard. I'd come in here and replace a lot of these cards with Launch Center Might, Launch Center Resistance for my shooters or whatever the hell I'm going to use. And that would give me maybe an advantage over other people that didn't place their cards, didn't activate their cards in place of, you know what I'm saying? And after the fact, you can come back and you can reset all your cards. If you come in here, you got reset points right in here, right? You can click reset points, it resets everything, and then you come in card use again, and after the new day starts, because once you reset it doesn't allow you to put them right back on. So I usually do it with like 30 minutes before the end of the day. I reset my points. As soon as reset hits, right, it's a new day, I come in and I place my new cards again. You can do it just as like that, and then you hit save and then you're good. So that's why that is super, super important and why you need that. And National Quest, I'm gonna touch on real quick, right? So if you come here, you see, pay attention to what you're doing, right? You see like this first one here offers its 1 hour mission, 46 experience points, 46,000 experience, 178 points. That is pretty good. But there's nobody here doing any of this. But then you got 3 people over here doing a 3-hour mission for 30K for 178. This one is way better. Why are they doing this one? Because they're just not paying attention, just clicking, right? You see over here, there's 3 more people doing this one, just as bad as this one, and nobody doing this one that is better, right? Usually 3 people mission are way better, but sometimes you can find better deals here. But if the deal here sucks, move on. Check this one. This might have great deals too, right? And if this one sucks, just because those are the only 2 combat buffs that usually are for raiders, that doesn't mean that that's the only place that you'll find raiders, right? You have to check every single one of them. I've checked them previously, so I already know what the other raider one is, and it's over here on the First Lady position. And it's pretty bad deal, but sometimes it's fantastic one. You can find one right here at level 2 for 52K or 54K or whatever it is, right? So pay attention to what you're choosing and only do your mission once the ministers have placed these cards right here on top. Why? Because these will give you, you can see it's minus 10% in time. So if it's an 1 hour mission, it reduces about 10 minutes of it, right? So, or 6 minutes of it technically. Then it becomes like a 50-something minute mission, and then it offers a 10% extra experience and 20% extra points. That could be big. All these things will help you level up faster and unlock those extremely important cards to help you be stronger and have a leg up over people that are roughly the same thing as you are right now, right? So these are the things that will make a major difference. So pay attention in what you're choosing, pay attention in your national mission, pay attention if the ministers place their cards, and if they haven't, go on zone chat and be like, hey, so and so, please place your cards. That should be a requirement for all ministers to place their cards as early as possible. It shouldn't be 8 hours after reset, because by the time most people already have done their missions. It shouldn't be 16 hours after that, because National Quest is only open until 1800 or like 6 p.m. After 6 p.m. you can't do them anymore, so it does you no good. They should be placing it at reset. That's the time that's necessary. If they can't, and that's my humble opinion, if they can't place it at reset, maybe they shouldn't be a minister, because they're not helping the state, or if they should find a buddy that is awake at reset and be like, hey man, I'll share my logins with you, you can just go and place my cards for me, please, so I don't have to wake up at 3 a.m. if it's 3 a.m. for you. Like, we all have buddies here that we trust. You can put a pin in your account, and then if they try to steal it, you can just change your pin. They don't have access anymore. There's a lot of things that can be done just so we can ensure that our state has good National Quest. I gotta run because my daughter's waking up. Bye.